In this video, I will show you how to write equations of lines given a variety of information. For problem number 1, we're given a graph and we need to write an equation of this line. So remember, our preferred model for the linear equation is y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. So with that in mind, we usually wind up doing like this. Y is equal to something x plus something, where the first box is going to be the slope and the second box is the y-intercept. So taking a look at this line that's graphed, I'm looking for the slope. And of course, I'm thinking rise over run. So look at several points where the line crosses at the grid lines, where the line touches where the grid lines meet, like here and here and here. Alright, these points are right on the grid lines. So if I pick any pair of points and I do a rise and run, see how this would be down 1, right 2. So that would be negative 1, positive 2. So that's the slope. So the slope is negative 1/2 because of that. Rise over run. So that tells me that the slope is negative 1/2. That goes in the first box. Now I need to know the y-intercept. Well, the y-intercept is the point where the line crosses the y-axis. So since the line crosses the y-axis right here, the b value is 2. Alright, because the line touches the y-axis here at 2. So that tells me that the b value is 2. So that gives me the overall equation y is equal to negative 1/2 x plus 2. So now let's zoom back out and see. So negative 1/2 x plus 2, that is option C. Kabam. So for problem number 2, find the slope and the equation of the line that goes through this point. So when I'm given a point or two and I'm supposed to write the equation of a line, I like to make a chart like this. So I'm going to find the slope, m, and then I'm going to find the y-intercept, b, and then I'll be able to write the equation. Alright, the equation is of the form y is equal to something x plus something. So first we need to find the slope. Well, the slope, the formula for slope is y minus y over x minus x. So I'm going to be doing y minus y. So this is going to be 16 minus 4, okay, because that's y minus y, over x minus x. So that's 3 minus negative 1. A common mistake is just to put 3 minus 1. But this is not a 1, it is a negative 1. So you have to say 3 minus negative 1. You need the double negative here. Of course, when you do have minus and negative, hopefully you understand that this is actually addition. So I'm going to turn that into addition. Okay, so then that means we're going to have, oh, this is the slope. I shouldn't have put y. That's m. So that's going to give us 12 over 4, which is 3. So the slope is 3, so I can go ahead and put that number right here. Oh, they also asked us for the slope, so there you go. Slope is 3. Now, next we need to find the y-intercept. Now in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, hey, y equals mx plus b. So, I'm looking for b. That means I need y, m, and x. I can get an x and a y by using one of these 2 points. I think I'm going to pick this one. I'm going to use this point right here. It doesn't matter which one I pick, but I have now an x and a y. So it's y equals. So I'm going to start with y. So I'm going to put 4 equals. Then we have m, which is 3. And then we have x, which is negative 1, plus b. So this gives us 4 is equal to negative 3 plus b. to find b, I need to add 3 to both sides. So that's going to give me 7. So b is equal to 7. So that means this is 7 right here. So that's why the equation will be y equals 3x plus 7. For problem number 3, ultimately I need the equation of line A that is parallel to the line shown and goes through this point, 8, negative 12. So because I am finding the equation of this line, I'm going to make one of my famous charts that I always make, where first I start by finding the slope m, and then I find the y-intercept b, and then I write the equation of the line. And the equation always goes like this: y is equal to something x plus something. That's how the equation goes. But first I need to find the slope. Well, they gave me the slope, they gave me a line which is parallel to the line whose equation I'm trying to find. So let's start by finding the slope of this line. So just like I did on a previous problem, problem number 1, to find the slope of this line, I'm going to think about rise over run. But first I need to identify the places where this line hits the grid evenly. So here are some points where the line crosses, like right at the grid lines. Okay, so rise over run. So for example, I'll just use these 2 points. To get from point to point, I'm going up 2 over 1. So that's 2 over 1. So that tells me that the slope is 2 over 1. Okay, so the slope is 2 over 1, which really is just 2. So the slope of the given line is 2. Now, what does that have to do with the line that I'm trying to find the equation for? So these lines are parallel. Parallel lines have the same slope. So my thought process is, if they give me the slope of a parallel line, okay, which is 2, then the slope that I'm going to use will also be 2, because parallel lines have the same slope. So basically I just found out that the slope that I'm going to use is 2. Boom. So I can fill that in. So now I need to find the y-intercept, right? So I can fill in the other box. And what I always do for the y-intercept is I say y equals mx plus b. And so I start with y. I can get my x and y from here because this is a point on the line. And so I start with y. So that's going to be negative 12. So I'm going to have negative 12 is equal to m, which is 2, x, which is 8, and then plus b. So that's going to be negative 12 is equal to 16 plus b. Then subtracting 16 from both sides, we have negative 28 is equal to b. So that's negative 28. That's great. So that means the equation of this line is y equals 2x minus 28. Don't put plus negative 28, just put minus 28. Problem number 4. Line C has the equation y equals negative 3/5 x plus 6. Line D is perpendicular to line C and goes through the point 15, 3. Find the slope and the equation of line D. Okay, line D. Here we go. As soon as I see that we're supposed to find the equation of line D, I'm going to make my chart like I always do. Okay, pretend that was a straight line. So I'm going to find the slope m. That's step number 1. Then I'm going to find the y-intercept b. All right, that'll be step 2. And then I can write the equation. And the equation always goes like this: y equals something x plus something. All right, where the first box is the slope and the second box is the y-intercept. So let's start with the slope. When they gave us a perpendicular line, all right, line C, indirectly they're giving us the slope. So I'm going to write down m perpendicular. All right, this is where I will record the slope of this perpendicular line. And the slope of this perpendicular line is right here. Okay, so the slope of the perpendicular line is -3/5. Notice I'm not going to do anything with the y-intercept, so ignore the 6. That's not going to show up anywhere in the problem. So using the slope of a perpendicular line, I can come up with the slope that I'm going to use to write the equation. And that's because perpendicular lines have slopes that are opposite and reciprocal. All right, those are the two things about the slopes of perpendicular lines. Reciprocal means you turn the fraction upside down. So because I see the 3/5, then I'm going to have 5/3 instead. That's what reciprocal means. Opposite means opposite in sign. So if the first line has a negative slope, a perpendicular line will have a positive slope. So that's why I'm going to leave this as positive 5/3. So that tells me that the slope is 5/3. So that's why I'm going to put 5/3 in the first box. Now I need to find the y-intercept. Well, we know that to find the y-intercept, we use the model itself, y equals mx plus b. Let's see. So I need a y and an x. Well, look, I have one right here. This is x and this is y. All right, I'm starting with y equals, so that means I'm going to start with 3. 3 equals. Next comes m, that's 5/3. Then we have x, which is 15. And then plus b, which is what we're looking for. This is like having 15 over 1, so this is going to be 3 is equal to, what's that? That's 50 and then 25, so that's 75 over 3. Okay, so I've got 75 over 3 plus b. Okay, I think these words are going to be in my way, so let me just erase that. So 75 divided by 3 is 25. So this is 25 plus b. So the last step is to subtract 25 from both sides. So that's going to give me -22 is equal to b. So that means I have -22 in this box right here. So that tells me that the equation of the line is y equals 5/3 x minus 22. And by the way, the slope was 5/3. When we write the equation of a horizontal line or a vertical line, we don't need to make a chart like I normally would. You need to hold the following information in the back of your brain. So let's start with horizontal lines. So I have horizontal. Okay, horizontal lines look like this. Okay, a horizontal line always has a slope 0. Also, horizontal lines always have the equation y equals something. So maybe it's y equals 2, y equals 5, something like that. That's how horizontal lines work. Now let's talk about vertical lines. Alright, first of all, vertical lines look like this. All right, when it comes to slope, the vertical lines always have slope that's undefined. And the equation of a vertical line is always x equals something. All right, x equals a number, like x equals 5 or x equals -1. So this is the information that you need to have memorized. You need to memorize that these four concepts all go together. And similarly, these four concepts all go together. So with that in mind, as soon as they tell me that we have a vertical line, so all of these things pop into my brain. Oh, a vertical line, you say? I'm picturing this. I know that the slope is undefined. I know that the equation will be x equals something. Okay, so as a matter of fact, oh, slope of line B, you say? Undefined. Okay, that's one of the things they're asking us for. The equation of line B, you say? Well, I know it's going to be x equals something. It's just a matter of x equals what? To know what a number x equals, all I have to do is look at the point that they gave me. This point is in the form x comma y. So guess what x equals? Yeah, that's right. X equals 3. It's right here in your face. So x equals 3. Boom. Done. Alright guys, that's going to do it for this video. Go ahead and click here in the red apple to watch the next video. Click in the green apple to subscribe, or click the yellow apple for the full playlist.